Okay, the first thing I want you to do today is I want you to divide this function by this and this function by this. So everybody do that on both A's. Okay, so when we divided, when we are doing synthetic division, you are testing the root. We are given the factor, so we have to find the root to find the synthetic, to do the synthetic division. So one of the reasons we actually do synthetic division is this. When I test the -4, I got a remainder of 9. So now what I want you to do is I want you to find f of -4. So what do you get for an answer? What do you get? Correct. So this is -64. This is 16. And so the 9's matched. So what do you think is going to happen if I find f of 9 here? It's probably going to be 1. And so this is one thing I did want to show you also. So when we were talking about some of the tricks on the PSAT and the SAT, so on this one, if you don't have a calculator, it's 9 to the 3rd power here. Isn't that correct? I want this one to be 9 to the 3rd power also. So if I want this to be 9 to the 3rd power, I have to move one of the 9's outside, correct? So I'd get 7 times 9, and then 9 to the 3rd, and then the rest of this. So what is 7 times 9? And then it's 63 9 to the 3rd minus 63 9 to the 3rd. So what happens with those? Those cancel, and you don't even have to multiply any of that out. So I'm left with 81 minus 80, which gives me 1. So one of the reasons we actually do this synthetic division is so that we can get the answer here. Okay? So the remainder theorem. If f of x is divided by x minus c, then the remainder it is the function value or it is the y value. Using synthetic division to evaluate a function is called synthetic substitution. So if I want to know the function value of -3, I want to know the y value. Instead of plugging this in and doing all the multiplication, you can do the synthetic division, and it's faster. So all of you synthetic divide. So I get -20 as my function value. How many of you got -20? Okay. How many of you need to see more examples of this? Because she's got 6 more for us to do. So the only thing you want to avoid doing is what I did, right? You have to make sure that you fill in for our missing zeros, right? I missed that on that first example. Y'all corrected me. There we go. So some of these are missing, like I'm missing the x value on number 6. What am I missing on number 5? Yeah, there's 2 6s. I just saw that. What am I missing on number 5? What am I missing? The constant, right? I'm missing the constant, so you have to add a 0 at the end if you don't have a constant. Okay, does anybody need to see more synthetic division? Y'all are okay with that? Okay, so I want to do the last 2 with you because this is where we use synthetic division the most, and it's the word problems. So the number of tickets sold during the Oakdale High School football season can be modeled by the equation x cubed minus 14x squared plus 45x plus 68, where x is the number of games played. Use the remainder theorem to find the number of tickets sold during the 7th game. So what do you think I'm going to do? I'm going to put the 7 here, and then what's going to go here? Just this. So I'm going to have 1, negative 14, 45, and 68. So how many tickets did they sell? 40, because that's our function value. That's the remainder, and that's your function value. So that's tickets. Okay, so number 10, the distance in feet that a person travels on a snowboard is modeled by the equation d of t equals 0.6t squared plus 10t, where t is the time in what? Seconds. Use the remainder theorem to find the distance after 1 minute. So those don't match, do they? Also, what's missing here? The constant's missing. So what am I going to test? 60 seconds, right? So we're going to put 60 here. And then I'm going to have 0.6 and the 10 and the 0. And then you're all going to stop because it's a decimal. Oh my gosh, that's scary. Decimals are scary. But I know. So let's just ignore the decimal. Okay? Just ignore it. 6 times 6 is 36, and you add a 0, right? So if it's 360, but I have 1 decimal point, I just have to move it 1 place. So what do I get? Look, none of you fell out of your chair and lightning didn't strike. It's okay. So if I bring down the 6, I'm going to get 36 here. And then I get 46 here. Somebody multiply. 6 times 46. It's like, what is it? So what is that? 2,760 what? Is it seconds? We tested seconds. It's the distance. So what's the distance in? Feet.